So in this video, I'm going to walk you through live trades of mine and my thought process of getting in and getting out of the trades as I'm taking them so you can learn from my mistakes. Now, quick overview is I'm trading a 1 minute chart on the MES futures, and this just allows me to trade a really small account and slowly grow it up. So it's really good for beginning first time traders when they want to start out small, and then you can scale up really easily. And it doesn't have a pattern day trading rule like normal stocks. Now, lastly, before this gets going too quickly, is I just look to trade reversals, and I look to draw my support and resistance levels off of a 15-minute chart. And then I just draw where I see the market having either support or resistance. And then we jump into a 1 minute chart looking for a reversal, either with a double top, a lower high, some kind of micro reversal pattern to line up with that larger resistance or support level. And so here we have this larger resistance level, and the market is looking like it's going to top out here. And so what I'm seeing is the market's come up here, chopped around, and then it's produced a couple lower highs here and a nice big bear bar. And so I'm going to get in on that, betting that the market is going to go back lower. I don't know how far it's going to go. Probably a good area is somewhere down here where it bottomed before. And then I'm going to move my stop up as the market moves. And so I'm going to move my stop here to break even as the market has started to give this back up so that I can capture some of those profits as the market moves in my favor. And so trailing your stop up can be pretty tricky when the market is volatile like this. Sometimes it's better to just get out at a certain level, and sometimes, it looks like the market could really make a really long big push down here and keep going and start a bigger downtrend, and you want to give yourself a chance to be able to hold for that. So that's kind of the battle sometimes the market's better to just get out when it gets down to a certain level, and sometimes I like to go with the swings. As the market slowly swings down, I like to trail my stops up. And so here, as this is just pushing lower, I just have to let things play out. And sometimes that means having the market come back on you quite a bit. But once it starts to push lower here, I want to move my stop down to here because, hey, maybe this is a pretty good pullback here, and I want to capture that move down to there, and I want to get out if it comes back up. But I also want to give it room to move around. This market's pretty volatile right now, and so that's kind of a lot of room to move around. That sucks to have it come back and knock you out, and that's just a part of trading. Sometimes you don't really get as much as you want, but to be honest, this looks like a pretty good spot to chop here and potentially go lower. It's kind of an inflection point in the market where either it's going to come here, keep going lower, and I'm going to get a really big trade, or it's going to come back up here and just kind of chop here and then bust up higher and knock me out. As you can see, it was really good that I did get out here because the market is starting to push up higher. And so, again, I made a good decision of getting out at that point. Now, the market has been chopping around for a while, and it's actually back up to this level up here. And so this pattern right here looks a lot like this one, and we're still up at this resistance level. And so I want to still be looking for shorts off of that level. And so this looks pretty good in terms of potentially getting in here if it starts to break lower. But again, I want to wait for those micro patterns to really show me a confirmation. And so the market has made that really nice rejection bar here. And so once that closes, I want to get in based on that. And so now that we're in this, I just want to put my stop up above the highs here, because if the market decides to keep going up, I just want to get out because, at that point I'm wrong and I just want to cut my losses. And then profit wise, I just want to see what it gives me. A great target would be back down here. Again, I probably want to get out somewhat quickly with my profit target because this market is choppy here. It's been really sloppy and choppy today, and I want to get out when the market is like that. You don't want the market to come back on you like I let it do on this trade. I lost kind of a lot of profit letting it come back on me. But again, that's just how it goes. So this trade is actually starting to come back, and that's okay. It looks like I might be wrong in this spot, but it looks like it looked pretty good there for a while. And that's just kind of how it goes, right? You're not going to be right every time, and sometimes the market just doesn't play out in your favor. But don't want to be scared of taking losses with your trades, because to make money in the market, you got to take trades. But again, you want to have a plan that you are committed to and believe in when it comes to trading, so you can stick to something consistently. So the market is still at these highs here, and we got knocked out right here. It sold off, came back up here, and honestly, this still looks really good because we've had this move here off of these highs, and that's showing just sellers are coming in. And I think this is one last ditched move higher of the market moving up. And so I think actually this looks really good to get in short here based off of this bar. And so because it's essentially the market's moved up, made one last final high, it's essentially the same. And so I would call this a double top right here. And then it's just made a really clean lower high rejection bar right here. And so I'm going to get in based on that, betting that, okay, now the market is going to move lower. And days like this can be kind of frustrating, and sometimes they can really just cause you to have a lot of losses, because sometimes you can be getting a lot of signals to get in short, when in reality, I don't know, this might not work. The market just might chop around up here and just knock me out again. And so it's scary getting in again, betting that the market is going to go lower, but this overall pattern looks good. And honestly, I was patient looking for this. So at this point, again, I want to get out if the market breaks up above this, because this is where the market kind of retested or reattempted to go higher. And then again, I just want to try and get out down here at the lows and let the market play out from there. And so this is starting to get going actually pretty good in my favor. And that feels really good, especially in spots like this where you're a little nervous about the market moving. Now you can see here it's starting to have a little bit of support here. Now I'm going to expect there to be a little bit of support here because we have these two little bottoms here. But the idea is that this is a smaller support level. We're paying attention to the larger levels that is going to have a higher likely of doing a larger term reversal. So maybe we'll come down here, test this, have a little bit of a pullback of smaller buyers trying to get in. But overall, I would assume that this would keep going lower. And so I don't want to move my stop down to break even yet, because the market might totally come down here, bounce here, come back up here. If my stop was at break even, knock me out, and then keep going lower. And so again, you got to give the market some wiggle room in spots like this. Now I'm going to move my stop down to break even once this is really broken down, and I'll move it down to here as well in a minute, because this is starting to move in my favor, and I want to then manage it with the swings. And so here I actually just skipped that last swing because we had this micro pullback here and then a flush lower. And again, because this market is pretty back and forth, and we're actually getting down to this support level down here, I want to be aggressive with getting out of my trade, because we're up $600 on this trade right now, and I don't want to give that back up, especially when this market is that kind of market. And so I'm actually going to move into my tighter trailing stop strategy that is essentially just moving it with the candlesticks as it goes down. And so as we have this quick flush lower here with this bar, I'm going to move my stop down again, because that's a good signal that it could keep going lower. And if it actually ends up coming here, chopping a few bars, having this kind of bullish bar actually, and reversing back up, I want to get out. And so that knocks me out, and that's totally okay. We captured pretty much this whole move of this range. And again, we don't know what the market's going to do. This is a really nice move down. It could keep going lower, and I missed out on a lot. But always try and base what your reads are on what the market has done in the past. The past of today is the market's been really back and forth overall, and I just want to get in, get some good profits, and get out, and not try and bet on some home run that the market is going to keep going lower, because on a day like today, that's unlikely. Of course, it could happen, but it's unlikely. So if you want more nuts and bolts on this strategy, I definitely have videos on that. Go to my channel and check those out. And if you want more videos like this on just walking through trade examples, hit that subscribe button. I will definitely be producing more and more of these in the future.